Welcome to the Grown Ass Dads Podcast. Boop, boop, doop, beep, doop, beep, boo.
All right. You are listening to the Grown Ass Dads Podcast. I'm Adam Bundren.
I'm Jay Hilsing.
Cheers, fellas. Go ahead. Cheers.
I
cheers.
would like
Cheers, buddy.
A little bourbon tonight. Old Forester
We got to have
today.
the cheers. All right. And I am Jason Byrne. Happy to be here. Before we dive into the episode, though, I want to call out, we've had a lot of people asking us about how do they know that the new episode is live. Please subscribe. If you're out there listening right now, hopefully you're enjoying the show. And we promise you're going to enjoy this one. But subscribe to the podcast on whatever player you prefer. Subscribe to us on YouTube. You'll get a notification that the new episode is live, but we're also working on some other additional communications. So do us a favor, do yourself a favor. Subscribe. Enjoy all the rest of the episodes.
And if you're listening on Apple Podcast or Spotify, you may not know this, but Jason Byrne is a walking billboard right now for the Grown Ass Dads Podcast.
You need a face tat.
Check it out.
Yeah. We're working on some swag.
Yeah, buddy.
So we got we have
good.
some a couple of Grown Ass Dad Podcast hats, or three actually, a few. I think they call that a few.
That is.
And a shirt.
Yeah, as a result of that, actually, I'm going to toss out because our first sponsor for the show is 314 Print Co. So 314 Print Co. is stepping up, sponsoring the show. They're going to be bringing us all kinds of swag and making them available for you at home as well. So thanks a lot to all of our friends at 314printco.com.
You guys are getting paid for this? What the fuck? When the fuck did we get ice cream?
I got a check just before you got. You were late. You didn't know.
Fair.
Just before you got here, I got it. It was actually one of those big cardboard checks, though.
Cool. Yeah.
It's the only way I accept checks now.
The bank loves it when you show up with us.
The bank loves that. Absolutely.
Okay, so we are going to talk about tonight, are we becoming our parents? And a plethora of questions that have to do with that.
I love this because everybody out there knows that they are either fighting to not be their dad or have come to the realization, oh, fuck, I'm a dad.
Yeah. It's funny because the way that it manifests itself in our house, typically it's around like when I'm trying to build something or do something and a hammer makes its way through midair across the room, or I kick something.
Defying gravity.
Yep. I usually hear from my wife, okay, John. And I'm like, all right, got it. That's typically when it shows up, is when I'm building something or trying to do something. I've started the "Can you hold the flashlight for me?" business, and it's funny because I remember growing up as, you know, being a teenager and even in my 20s being like, what was the problem? Like, I'm sure I held the flashlight perfectly still.
Certainly.
And then I'm like, hey, bud, can you hold this flashlight for me? And I'm like, do you not see me screwing in the fucking thing? You can't hold it on the thing that I'm screwing in? Why is the flashlight over on the wall? It's unbelievable how terrible we were as children holding a flashlight. I mean, I realize I'm jumping right in here, but it's unreal. Like, I'm literally like the other day. So I'm in the middle of a bathroom renovation, and I'm in the basement bathroom trying to expose the ceiling so I could see what's going on upstairs.
Okay.
And I turn into a gorilla, and I just start ripping the drywall ceiling down, just like an animal.
This will be the quickest.
Rip the light fixture out of the ceiling.
Okay.
So I go to Home Depot, I buy a little like ceramic, like you would see in a laundry room, light fixture, and I'm installing it. It's pitch black. I'm like, hey, bud, just hold the flashlight right here. Try it on the thing. And I'm screwing it. It's like, here's a flashlight. No, what's over here? Oh, look over here on this wall. And I'm like, bud, right here, just the flashlight right here. That's what we did. We were terrible at holding flashlights, and I don't understand why.
Jay, do you? I'm trying to get past this. Like, Jay, do you recall holding a flashlight and being terrible? I don't recall a specific example of a time that I was called on to. I'm sure I did. I'm not denying that. I was
my goodness,
a bad flashlight holder. I think it's hilarious that that's one thing that just jumps out at you.
You seriously don't remember being a tool belt, is what I call it.
Hey, grab me a flathead. You come back with
a
wrench.
Hold this. Stand here and hold your tool holder. And the exact same item that would be a tool belt that your dad could put on, or a toolbox that sits directly next to him.
Yeah.
You have to be a tool or flashlight holder. I absolutely very distinctly remember being a highly paid assistant.
Yeah.
But yes, I don't remember. Yeah. I mean, I remember getting yelled at like, whoa, hey, hold it here.
Yeah.
No, the only difference with my father is my father didn't give specific direction on that stuff. He'd be like,
Just assumed you
hey,
knew.
he would hand me a flashlight and just be like, hey, hold the flashlight. And then I'm holding it, it's on. I see him working wherever he's working, and then I very, very vividly remember like trying to hold it in a spot where he was. He was like, will you hold the flash? I'm like, I'm holding the flashlight. What do
I
you
got
want?
it. It's right here in my
hold
hand.
it where I need to see it. Okay. And there was one very specific situation where he was working in kind of a close, tight area. I don't know, 5'5", and there is no way to hold the flashlight and shine it on what he's working on because there's no way around him, and I can't like reach over the top of him. And he
Can't?
lost his shit on me because he's like, I don't hold the flashlight. I'm like, Dad, I'm holding the flashlight. What do you want me to do? And he's like,
Right in your eyes.
hold it where I can hold it where I can see what I'm doing. Dad, I can't get around. We're in this like tight pocket behind the furnace. And he was like, well, figure it out. I'm like, all right. You sure?
Doing the best I can.
But yeah, that's pretty standard operating procedure.
I remember specifically. So I grew up in South St. Louis, in the city, and we lived in. It was just a 1-bedroom house with my mom and dad and 3 boys that my dad converted into, like the attic space or whatever, the dormer space, and it had these knee walls, and the knee wall is where like there was a kind of an attic access door, and that's how he would do all the things that he needed to do. And he's in like this insulation covered knee wall, and he's like, hey, go downstairs. I'm going to feed a wire through. Tell me when it comes through. I'm like, yeah, got it. It's easy, right? He's like covered, and it's like August, 130 degrees in the knee wall, and I'm not even in the room that he is feeding wire through. Like nowhere near it. And now that's me. I'm in the attic sweating, and I'm like, hey, bud, knock on the wall when I'm up there. And they're like, what, Dad? I'm just playing. I'm one more. Mm-hmm. What? How did we?
It's
See, I
that's where I'm my father.
and I realize that I have a terrible memory anyway, so specifics of stuff that happened yesterday I don't really remember. But I think part of the issue here too for me is my dad was a carpenter by trade. So I don't know that I was ever actually called on for assistance all that often because he just had that stuff on lock.
Yeah.
Right? And being a tool belt, I didn't need to be a tool belt because he had every tool in its place where it needed to be and just did it. Right?
Yeah.
And or I'm making that shit up. I don't know. I don't.
He's going to listen and be like, you never held the flashlight where I needed the flashlight.
But you're probably right. Either that, or I was that shithead kid that would just never refuse to hold it.
So we've all done that. Everybody in here, every kid, I'm guessing at some point in time, held a flashlight or a tool, or was it just a tool holder of some sort. But Bones, what I'm going to ask you here is this: what we either, you know what? I'll pause for a second and say that still was good times. You were helping. You were the helper. And maybe you didn't want to do it or whatever, but you're still like, Dad, I got you.
Yeah.
I'll hold this flashlight. And we're going to, we worked on a project or whatever. And then as you got older, it got stupid. But at least when you were 9, 10, 11, 12, that was cool. Dad needed my help. I'm on it. When you were 13, 14, 15, you're like, fuck, I don't want to hold this fucking, get your own flashlight.
Right. Don't you got a headlamp?
Yeah, no shit. Absolutely. But what I think is so funny about this, and are we becoming our parents, that we talked about was, what is something when you were growing up and you started having thoughts like, I might have kids someday, and whenever teenage years, you're like, maybe I'll have a family, maybe I want 1, 2, I'm going to have 10, whatever that's going to be. What was something that you swore, I'll never do that because this is so annoying, and now you do that?
Oh, man. There's a lot. I think the biggest thing. Well, you and I even joked about it before and we probably have the same thing. I say it. If I say it once, I say it 1,000 times because I said so. That's my direct line is like, "Hey, bud, hey, stop doing that." Why? Because I said so. That's the only reason you need. And that's my exact line. And I heard that 1,000 times when I was a kid. And it's and they look at me like, "Who the fuck are you, old man?" like they think it's hilarious. I mean, maybe, but I heard it all the time. Now the difference is when my dad said it, I think I listened. I mean, like it instilled fear in me. My kids are like, "All right, bud,
Whatever, schmuck."
right? What are you really gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the exact same thing that I think of when I do this, and it drives me crazy because I am a little bit authority defiant, and I remember that was the only thing. Whenever I asked why, and it didn't matter what, the answer was because I said so or because I told you so. Now go do it.
Yeah,
and it drove me batshit crazy. Not because I didn't want to do it. Not because I thought that everything needed to be a discussion. But there are certain things where whether it be my mom or my dad would say, "Hey, go do this," or "Stop doing this." And I would ask why, not as a little asshole kid, sometimes as a little asshole kid, but most of the time was like, okay, why wouldn't I do that? And then I was looking for some sort of discussion or whatever, not a negotiation. But so as I had my own kids, I said, you will never ever hear me utter those words. And I do.
All the time.
But I do, and it's not all the time, but what I have a two sentence rule in the fact that I will say something like, "Hey man, it's time for bed. It's bedtime. Let's go jump into bed and say our prayers and we'll get a good night's sleep." "Why, Dad? I'm not tired." "Well, dude, hey, it's 9:00. We got an early morning tomorrow. We got to do this." And I'm like, "So we go jump into bed." "What, Dad? I don't. Why? It doesn't make sense. I'm not tired." "Okay, well, here, man. You may not be tired right now, but if we stay up any later, tomorrow you're going to be super tired. You're going to hate getting up. You're going to be in a bad mood, and we want to be in a good mood, right? We want to be in a good mood and ready to rock for school or whatever." And then if there is a third why, then it's, "You know what? It's because I told you so. So go get your ass in bed right now." And that is, and then I hate it. Every not sometimes, 100% of the time, I'm like, God damn it, I didn't want to say that.
Oh, I love saying it
don't
now.
want to say it. I hate it because I didn't want to hear it. But I tried twice. I tried to get you to understand, and I gave you a reason. Now it's because I said so, and now Dad's pissed.
Yeah, God bless you. I love saying it.
I am a smidge less authority defiant than you, which is why I say it, and I don't mind the fact that I say it. And this is probably going to be the first topic discussed on this podcast that we're going to produce this, we're going to publish it, and my parents are going to be like, there's a topic in the podcast this week that we need to talk about.
This is it?
This is probably going to be it, because I may be wrong here.
Good for you making it to episode 5 before you have that conversation.
Yeah. I don't think I was a Y kid.
Oh, yeah, you're definitely going to have to talk about it.
You're not. I guarantee you weren't.
I am pretty confident that my parents told me to do something. I did it.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I mean, I get that, but
I watched it.
Yeah, but I mean it's not even a parent thing. If it was a teacher, if it was a boss, if it was I'm a yes man. I do it with my wife now. You need me to do something? Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
But I think that's what's different about the generation then and the generation now, at least from my experience, is I did what I was told because that was what I was supposed to do. That's what my parents said I should do, so that's what I did. I expect that same thing, and I'm foolish for expecting that. I think that if I tell my kids it's time to go to bed, they should go to bed. They want to understand why. I don't understand why you needed to have a reason. Because the reason is I said
I just
so.
said that. Right.
So I never once said I'm not going to say I told you so, because 9 times out of 10 the reason you need to do something is because I said so.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, and as I got a little bit older, and specifically in high school, my defiance, my authority issues got worse. And my freshman year of high school, I had the very, very best coach that I've ever had in my life. He and I are still friends to this day. He is still coaching to this day. And he relatively changed my life with an authority issue with a coach or a teacher situation. Because in our very, very first practice, he brought us all together and he said, guys, here's the deal. We're going to work really hard every day in practice, and we're going to work really hard in every match, and we are going to get at it. And we don't have time for me to explain every reason for every decision that I make. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you ask me why, you will immediately sit or you will immediately start running. But after practice, at any time, you can come to me and say, hey, coach, why did we do this? Why did you make this call? Why did this happen? Because I want you guys to understand, and I want you to be great players, and I want you to be able to think for yourself. But we don't have time during these precious moments of practice and games to waste time having that explanation there. And so give me everything you got, do exactly what I tell you to do when I tell you to do it, and come sit down with me for 20 minutes after practice, and we'll talk all you want about what's going on. And that resonated in a humongous way for me. I will run through a wall for this guy. Then, I was 14. I go, if he tells me to go run into that wall 100 times, I will go do it as fast and as aggressively as I can. Because
an hour later, he's going to stumble and ask him why.
And I'm gonna
but he's going to keep doing it.
And he may go, because I thought it was funny, but that's really not what's going to happen. But that sat well with me. I can understand that. I can wrap my head around that. Okay, cool. I'll get the why, but I'm going to do everything I can during practice to do exactly what I'm told and exactly how this is going to go. And as I grew up, now that I have kids, I tell the kids that I coach that exact same thing to start every single season. And then I talk to my kids about it, and when they don't very often ask me why. They ask me why when they're crabby or they're tired or they're in the middle of something. So I don't often have to use the because I said so dad voice and what that is. And I'm glad that I don't, because I hate it. It makes my stomach turn every single time I say it, but it becomes a necessity at some point in time with a 9 and 12-year-old. But that's my dad, my mom, God love them. There was no why. There was no explanation. There was no this is what we're doing. Do it or else.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't like the or else, so I guess we're going to do that.
I've developed a bad habit of direct communication, not just with my kids, with any kids. And it's not good. I mean, it does. Like my wife would be like, she's like, "You're a psycho. You should not do that." So, quick story. So I thought it was a good idea when she was 8 months pregnant with our first. I didn't know that when you're 8 months pregnant, you're probably a little uncomfortable. I thought, hey, you know what would be great? Let's go to Chicago for St. Patty's Day, around 1 million people. So we did that, and it was a terrible idea.
You're an idiot.
That I know. I realize that. So we go to the IKEA in Schaumburg, Illinois, before there was an IKEA downtown. And, I mean, it is nut to butt the entire way.
Nice little parent moment there. Nice little grown-up situation.
Right?
Went to Chicago to go to IKEA.
I
made
know.
a little trip out of
right?
it.
Did you hit Bed Bath & Beyond while you were there? Or did you run out of time?
I think we did. I think we did hit Bed
Unreal.
Bath & Beyond. But, we did. We hit Golfsmith, and I got some irons. But different story. So we're in IKEA, and we're basically just herding through this entire place for hours. And we get to the kitchen section, and there's this little kid in front of me, and I bet he's 4 years old, and he has an egg timer. And it's like ding, 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 for too long.
Okay.
I'd say an hour. Sarah would say 3 minutes. And she's like, hey, we get to this little spot. She's like, hey, come over here. And I was like, yeah, hang on 1 second. I'm going to reach down and check out these spatulas. And I swat the egg timer out of this little child's hands. And she looks at me and she's like, you can't do that. That's a child. And I was like, someone needs to fucking take this egg timer out of this kid's hands. And then immediately I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be my dad as a dad. Like immediately it happened the other day. I went to the Cardinal game for the boys went for school, and some kids are throwing my peanuts that I bought, down on some other kids. And I lean and I see it happen, and I'm like, man, they're probably not going to throw peanuts very long. I'll let them throw a couple peanuts, have some fun. They're throwing it for too long, my opinion. So I look over and I go, hey, did you pay for those peanuts? And they look at me, what? And I go, no, I did. Quit throwing them. And
I love it.
And the two dads I'm sitting with, one
Did
of them.
they ask you why?
No, they didn't. They go, one of them's like, I think my mom bought these peanuts. I'm like, your mom didn't buy the peanuts. I bought the peanuts. Quit throwing the fucking peanuts. It's bad. I realize it's not good. It's not a good trait to have. But I think not the majority. I'm gonna probably say the wrong thing, but a lot of the kids today are complete powder puff sissies, and they don't have anybody to tell them not to do shit. And I'm okay being the guy to tell them to do stuff. And most of my buddies, like all of my friends, like Jason and I, we talk about it. Like if Harry's at tell my kid not to do the thing. You have full reign to discipline my child, and I'm probably gonna take it. But when we have good kids, so that's not a thing. But like if my buddies are like over at the house and they see my kid doing something, tell them. If I'm not there to say it, say it. I'm okay with that, and I'm probably gonna say it to your kid. It's okay.
What's the greatest commercial on TV today?
Oh my God! I think it's the State Farm, the old people one, where they're like
Progressive.
Yeah, it's a Progressive.
1,000%.
Yeah. We didn't even script that.
1,000%.
The Becoming Our Parents commercial.
The Becoming Your Parents commercial. It's one of the very, very, very few commercials that I can remember in my life that I actively watch. Like I don't fast forward through. I don't go do anything. I'm like,
I love that guy. He's like, don't do that.
This
Don't
is
do that.
hilarious. It's so good.
Let me ask you this: are there any weird or quirky things that you picked up, either one of you, from your parents or from your dad, that you do today? I have a couple. I'm curious. Like, I'll say mine while you're thinking, because I just threw this out of left field.
Okay.
One, I sneeze like a banshee, and it'll rattle. I mean, I'm like, achoo, and then I'm like, shit. I always say shit at the end of it.
I actually say shit in the middle of a sneeze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, shit. Like,
I do.
My kids think it's hilarious. And then here's the other thing. And I've done this since I was a kid. And I don't even know I'm doing it. Whether I'm opening a soda, a sparkling water, or a beer. I mean, the camera's not
I already
gonna catch it.
know what this is because I've asked you about it before.
I turn my tab. My dad turned his tab growing up. And I literally open it. And as I'm putting the tab down, I spin it. It happens.
Yeah.
And I've done it I'm 40, so I've done it for as long as I've been drinking beer, so 30 years.
30 years.
Like, yeah. I turn the tab.
I can't think of anything that kind of quirky, but I will say something that I catch myself doing all the time is I have picked up my dad's humor, which says a lot because I am not humorous to most people, and it's because of the humor that I inherited.
Yeah.
I mean, I am dad joke galore, especially in the house and around my kid. Like, it's amazing how many times my wife will be like, "Okay, Kevin," because my jokes they're just jokes that would come out of my dad's mouth, and it's the stupid shit, right? Like, hey, I'm gonna go jump in the shower. Don't jump, you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
Like why? That comes out of my mouth.
I'm gonna run to the store. Don't run, drive.
Yeah, it'll be a whole lot faster to drive.
Yeah.
I don't. It just rolls off the tongue. Just rolls off the tongue.
Oh my God!
I ran into your dad at Silver Dollar City, your mommy and dad, and I mean we got there way too early, and we were there way too long. That was the highlight of my day, of like getting a little bit of Kevin and Donna like sitting. Your dad is hilarious.
Kevin's the best.
He is hilarious.
That dude cracks my shit up, and I don't know, maybe that's because he's almost 70 years old, and that's funny to me, but. Yeah, he's
funny that my
he's
dad's
awesome.
That's so funny that your dad's so old.
Yeah, well, he's
probably the youngest dad amongst ours.
he is the youngest dad amongst ours for sure. Because
yeah?
my dad turns 70 this year. Kevin's going to be 68.
67.
My dad will be
67.
69 this year.
Yeah.
Your old man though doesn't age. I feel like he looks exactly the same as the first time that we started hanging out 30 years ago.
Maybe that's the trait that I picked up from him. What do you think?
You know, it's something.
Jeez, fellas, thank you.
Something.
What about you? Pick up any traits, any goofy shit that your dad did?
So my dad's not particularly funny. He's a good dude to hang out. He's a good dude to hang out with, and he makes you feel hilarious. He will laugh at anything, and he thinks that I'm the funniest person that's ever lived. And I mean, I might be, but I'm not. Like, he's a good dude to have around because you feel like a stand-up comedian. He just loves to hang out. Oh, that's hilarious, funniest thing. It's very interesting because the trait in my family is we're very black and white, and we're very easily excitable, we'll call it.
I believe that.
But my grandfather, his dad, I remember as a kid, like, everything was either the greatest thing that's ever happened or the worst thing that's ever happened. This is the best dinner I've ever had in my life, or this is garbage. And my grandfather was very he was a old Marine that went to World War II and he had zero filter. And so when things were great, he made you feel like a hero. And when things were just average, he was just like, he would literally like push food away from him and be like, this is terrible. And we're like, oh, thanks, Grandpa. That's cool. Grandma's not going to go cry about this at all. My dad was always kind of going, hey, Dad, come on. Like, it's not bad, whatever. My dad's now 69. He'll be 70 years old. He does that now. And we make fun of him because it's whatever it is. It's the greatest dinner that he's ever had. This is the greatest sunset he's ever seen in his life. It's the greatest vacation we've ever, like, it's either the greatest thing that's ever happened or I hated it. And so I hope to God that I don't end up with that trait when I get older, because I don't feel like that now. But it seems to be a hereditary situation.
You will.
So I might. But I guess the only thing that I picked up from him is completing tasks and like doing stuff at the house. So there are people that are very comfortable with cleaning part of the kitchen. They will clean up the dishes and leave some things out on the counter or what have you. My dad was, if we're going to clean the kitchen, we're cleaning the entire kitchen. But he also was either we clean the entire kitchen or we didn't clean at all. The sink was full of dishes or the kitchen was pristine. I have that, and I don't know if that's, I guess, something I picked up from him. Same with laundry, same with like cutting the grass and taking care of the yard, whatever. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it the whole way, or we're not going to do it at all. Yeah. And I don't have a problem not doing it at all and putting it off till the next day or a couple of days or a week. But if we're going to do it, we're going to do the whole thing. And so that's one of the few things that I feel like I've picked up from him, or is just kind of ingrained in me. If we're going to do it, we're doing everything. Yeah. And you know, my ex would just do the dishes, but leave, you know, I don't know, some groceries out on the counter, or maybe some pots and pans got washed, but they didn't go into the drawer, and they'd be sitting on the counter, they'd be sitting on the stove. And I'm like, if we're going to do it, let's just do why are we doing half of it? Like, let's do the whole thing. And so that's I guess one of the few things that I can think of that we're going to do we're going the whole way.
Okay.
So
all right, I'm going to ask an uncomfortable question.
All right.
I'm curious
7.5 inches.
Right. Twice.
The longest putt you've ever made?
Right. What is something that this is a judgment question, that you judge your parents got wrong? that you're actually trying to do differently. So something that you maybe identified or picked up on, but want to change.
Cool.
I know. I'm sorry. You thought you're definitely gonna have to talk to your parents about this episode.
It depends if I can come up with anything or not, though.
I mean, for me, it was like I don't know what they call it, corporal punishment.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Like I got my ass beat.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, Pam would say, like, you wait till your father gets home and he'd be undoing that belt, like walking in the door. He didn't even know what he was spanking for. He's just like, Mom said, you got to get your ass beat right now. And my mom was a little lady. She would hit you with anything that was close. Wiffle ball bat, wooden spoon,
Sure.
hand, anything.
Yeah.
We made the decision not to spank or not to, hit or whatever. And I think now you just fucking go to jail if you do.
Right.
But I mean, I would get my ass beat somewhat regularly. I'm sure it was warranted. But I can remember, like, at the dinner table, like elbows off the table, you hold your fork properly, you wait to get up before, you're told to get up.
Did you grow up highfalutin?
Huh?
Did you grow up in like a...
I grew up in South St. Louis in a little fucking...
Would you have a maid and servants and things?
No.
I mean, what do we talk? Hold your fork properly.
Dude,
Elbows off
if
the
you held
table.
your fork like this...
Well, yeah, that's being a
You-
gorilla.
Right,
All
you
right.
get your ass beat. You hold your fork like you're supposed to hold your fork.
Okay, there's multiple ways to hold a fork, but like a
One.
gorilla.
There's one.
there's only one way to hold a
There's
fork.
one way in John Bundren's house.
All right, well, I think there's multiple ways to hold a fork, but like a gorilla is not one of them. But all right.
Correct.
Understood.
But that was something that was, somewhat regular. And again, there was 3 boys, so we all deserved ass beatings regularly. But my kids, I mean, I remember screaming at one of my kids one time and like really being hot under the collar, and him like kind of like doing one of these and me being like, have I ever even pretended like I was going to hit you? Well, no. I'm like, then what are you scared of? Like, God forbid,
Yeah.
1989 John Bundren rolls through this door. You will shit twice and die. Like, you would not even know what to do with yourself. Now, I will snatch my kids up. I tell them all the time, I'm like, I'll snatch your ass up.
Yeah.
And we will go to your room, and I'll drag you to your room, and your little feet will be dangling going to the bedroom. But I mean, that's one thing that like we changed, and I am glad that we did that. Like, I joke about it, and we can all bullshit about it on this, and now it's ingrained forever on the internet.
Yep.
It ain't going away now.
Right. But I think that was something that was like it was a conscious decision that was supported by the fact that if you don't subscribe to that, you go to fucking jail.
Okay.
So it kind of was, kind of fair. It was kind of fine.
All right, kind of fine. It worked out. I think that's fair. Not hitting your kids seems to be a lean, towards that side of the thing than, hitting your kids. I think that's a great little change that you made. So
You're welcome, boys.
that's right. I guess the thing that comes to mind for me is my parents are absolutely traditional boomers, and there are no feelings. There are no feelings. Just be happy. All right? Just act right. I can't tell you how many times I heard that. Just act right. Well, what the situation was, whether I had a bad day at school and was getting made fun of, or I was just in a bad mood, or I didn't play well in a sport or whatever, and I wasn't in a bad. I was a pretty happy kid, but I was in a bad mood, or whatever. That conversation wasn't, hey man, what's going on? It was, hey, start to act right. Like, it's whatever the deal is, like, stop it. And so it was just take care of it. And it was very much, hey, go change your attitude. And that was what it was. Go change your attitude. Go in your room, figure out what's wrong, come back, be happy. And so, like, I legitimately, that was the thing. Go figure it out. And so I had to figure it out. And I had to, I don't know. I'm younger. I'm in there crying. Hey, all right.
Try to act right.
I gotta try to act right. And so in my world now, and growing up in that world, which is, I turned out fine. It was all right. I learned some self-discipline, and I learned some self-evaluation and how to kind of change my own mindset and help myself. But with my boys now, if they're acting in a way or they're not acting right, my first thing I'm going to do is ask them, hey man, what's going on? What's happening? And sit down next to them, kind of get at their level and say, hey, something happened. Can Dad help? Whatever's going on, so that you give them an outlet to kind of talk about it or whatever. Or hey, do you want to just hang out in your room for a little bit and chill out, take some deep breaths, and have some quiet time, and then come out and talk to me? Like, what do you need from me? So that I give them an outlet, and there are times where my 12-year-old is much more emotionally aware of himself than the 9-year-old. 9-year-old's 9, but he'll say, Dad, I don't know, I'm just kind of in a sad mood, or I'm in a bad mood, and nothing happened. I'm kind of crabby. I go, okay, well, what do you think about hanging out by yourself for a little while? Like, what do you think would make you happier? What do you think? You want to sit in your room and read a book? Do you want to take a nap? Do you want to go for a bike ride by yourself? Or what does that look like that we can kind of burn off some of that energy or change that mood without saying, hey, start acting right, get your shit together? So that is one of the changes, or one of the things that is different. There was no real discussion or emotional intelligence discussion with my parents to try and figure out how to potentially help me change my own mood.
Yeah.
It was, and that's a boomer thing. Hey, toughen up.
Right.
Tighten up that bottom lip, son. We got shit to do. Okay,
right.
Well, fuck that. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm mad. I don't know why I'm mad. I'm 12.
Right.
So that's the one thing that I think I'm trying to do and trying to be better at, and give them an outlet to discuss or have some feelings. And hey man, sometimes it's cool to be mad. It's not cool, but it's, you're going to be mad.
Yeah.
Don't lash out at people, and instead of treating your brother like an asshole, maybe just go chill by yourself for a half an hour until you're not mad anymore. Go do something that you think would be fun.
Yeah, it's really difficult to. One of the things, I think that this is probably the biggest thing that I'm trying to teach, and Sarah too, but your emotions in our house are 1,000% welcome. All of them.
Sure.
Anger, sadness, fear, all of it. And you can't control necessarily how you feel, but you can control how you act. You can control the reaction of those emotions. And I know that they're kids and they're learning that, but that is that. I mean, if I say it one time, I say it 1,000,000 times. It's like, be mad, be as mad as you want, but you can't huff and punch somebody, or you can't say, like these words.
Yeah.
And like with my oldest is going to be 13. He's got a mouth on him. I wonder where you know what I mean? I know, probably a shocker.
Good
but
night.
like, you have to be able to control that and know when you can say that and when you can't.
Yeah.
And that's it's just hard. Being a dad is fucking hard.
Sure.
Yeah, I think we welcome the emotions as well. We also really want the actions to be under control, but I also want you to be willing to talk it through. Like, if you're going to be pissed, but when you're through with that,
tell me what's up.
Yeah, or the whole silent treatment and just throwing stuff around and stomping all over the place. I realize I might not be able to fix it, but at least help me understand what's causing it.
Yeah.
Give me a shot here. Give me a chance to try and bring some type of resolution. I realize in most cases I'm not going to be able to change whatever it was that pissed you off. It might have been me, for all I know, right? But yeah, at least control your actions, but also be willing to talk it through, and let's see if we can figure out a way to get past it.
I tell Joe, he gets so mad because it's at least once a month where I go, "Hey, dude, control your face," and he's like, "I didn't even do anything." I go, "I know you didn't say anything.
You're there.
I know you didn't say anything, but the eye roll, the throwing your head back, the literally at times throwing yourself on the ground, like you if you're frustrated or you don't like what's going on, even though you don't outwardly yell at someone or do whatever, you need to be able to control your face. And so he's like, whatever. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm telling you, this is going to help you in life.
Yeah.
And so if I tell you to do something and you don't like it, and you throw your head back, roll your eyes, and start shaking your head no, like, I understand all of those things, that you don't want to do that and you don't agree with me.
Right.
And so we want to control our face. And so emotions are good. Teenage emotions, middle school emotions, grade school emotions are they just come out, and,
right.
and that's what it is. And trying to help them deal with that in a more healthy way to be able to change their
right.
mindset or their attitude is what we're trying to do here. Let me ask you this. This one was something that we put down as a topic that I really, really enjoyed, and this goes back to the commercials of Don't Be Your Parents. How proud of you are you of your lawn after you get finished cutting it, are you?
All right, I have a confession.
Oh, boy.
I think I know what this is going to be, and I'm going to make a lot of fun of you.
So last fall, my rider died. So I have a guy.
You've got a guy. All right.
Got a guy that does my lawn now. And he does a great job. But I'll tell you what, and I loved cutting the grass. My wife loved cutting the grass. It was she really, really did. And I have gotten into gardening over the last few years, and I know. I mean,
tulips look beautiful this year.
Yeah.
Vegetables, bro.
I'm sure.
And fruits.
It's about sustaining life,
Yes.
not making beautiful things.
All
right.
Okay.
I am proud of my exterior of my property, and I do more than, watch my guy cut my grass. But when I did it, it was a thing. Like, my lines were clean.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could not give less of a shit about my lawn.
Okay.
I don't care.
I believe this, and I'm not.
I love
like,
this about
I
you.
absolutely believe this, and growing up, I couldn't understand why my dad and mom were so tuned up over the lawn and raking leaves. By the way, raking leaves is the bane of my existence, and I do not rake leaves. You will never ever see me pick up a rake.
I have never raked leaves.
My neighborhood doesn't allow fences, so I just wait for them to blow into another yard.
I have a very high-powered leaf blower, and I am very happy to blow the leaves. You will never see me rake leaves or pick leaves up by hand ever.
We just run the lawnmower right over all of it.
All right, okay. I tried to figure that out with my house and how I got to where I got, to where I would spend an extra half an hour diagonally cutting the yard, and instead of doing just a back and forth action, which I could get done real quick, to create that diagonal ballpark line. And I think I came to the realization that it had nothing to do with, damn, look at that yard. That is nice. And sit out there with a beer and scratch my belly. And I think it more became a total house situation, the pride of owning a house and the total aspect of it, because I never once had a neighbor come by and be like, Hilsing, yard looks great today. Thanks, Bob. No, that's never that's not a thing. It was purely for me, and it was, man, house looks great. I own this. This is and there was a pride in the totality of it, not just the grass itself.
Yeah. We should do an episode on home ownership, being a dad and a homeowner.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Speaking to your point, though, while I don't necessarily care about my grass, I do, in fact, diagonally cut my grass and intentionally cut the diagonal in the direction of the incoming traffic through the subdivision. So that way
they
the
see
people
it?
that are driving in do see that it's done at an angle.
I'm going to start looking at your grass.
I don't care, but I care what other people think about me. So the only reason I'm cutting that grass are, in most cases, making my kids cut it or my parents actually come over and cut it.
Fact.
Is because I worry about what people think about. I don't want to be people going, oh, he's that neighbor who doesn't take care of his stuff. That's the only reason why I
That's fair.
even bother.
Trex, I was about to freak out. You have 3 sons, 2 of which are 17 years old. You shouldn't be touching a lawnmower. Ever.
I would tend to agree with you. Lots of the times I just don't feel like doing the fight because there will be a fight about, I got so many things going on, Dad.
We just talked about it.
Isn't that crazy?
Because I told you
Because
so.
I told you.
Get your ass outside.
No, I hear that all the time. Like, Dad, I got all this stuff. And I'm like, what do you have to do? I just had this conversation today. I was like, I work 60, 70 hours a week, and I'm installing a bathroom for you, and I take you everywhere. What do you have to do?
Dad, there's a Fortnite cash cup today.
Stressed out right now, Dad.
Really stressed out. Yeah, that'll happen.
I mean, God love it.
I always get I had school all week. This is my time. This is my time right now.
At the same time, and I give them shit, I love the fact that they're still kids and they're not trying to grow up too fast. I say it all the time. I'm like, man, can you help me do something? And at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Just be a kid and sit there and play your video games and do your thing with your buddies.
Because you're a better dad than me, apparently.
Well, I also don't have 17-year-olds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm good. I'm good with that for now.
It's a completely different dynamic, man. My kids have jobs now. They've got cars now. They're driving.
learning.
Because of the recent storms, that we now have new cars for them, and they've got car payments. My kids are making their own car payments, and they're finding out how much insurance is. For Christ's sake, for a 16-year-old boy, ridiculous.
So in cutting the grass, making your kids cut the grass, or hoping that they cut the grass.
Because I said so.
Well, so that dovetails, and I know what my answer to this is, but what was something that your parents did that they absolutely got right, that you are leaning into and that you do the same, or that you appreciate more now than you did when they were kids?
I'll jump in on this one since I didn't really contribute on the last one because I couldn't come up with anything. My parents both stressed the importance of truth over anything. Like, no matter what, you can be in the most trouble ever. You can anything. You will always have trust from us until you lie one time. You get caught lying one time, and all the trust is out the door. And I still, to this day, cannot lie, whether it's to them or it's to my spouse or it's my kids. Now, I've got very creative ways of stretching the truth and or saying something that is true-ish.
Yep.
But I don't lie. Yeah. And it was abundantly clear to me growing up. I could not lie. There was no threat. There was no nothing. Well, it was the threat of we'll never trust you again.
Right.
But there was no physical threat or anything like on our end. But that was one thing that I still think is right, and it's something that we still carry through to our kids, is that you're gonna talk to us. We're gonna talk it through. But I want you to be 100% honest with me, and I want you to share everything, unless it's a detail that I probably don't want to know anyway. That is one thing that got driven into me hard, and I will carry that through with me till the day I die.
Yeah. For me, there's probably 2 things that stick out. One, my mom just absolutely beat into my head and my brother's head that both my brothers, like, you guys are brothers.
Yeah.
Like that stuff doesn't go away. That you guys aren't friends. You don't have to like each other right now. You're brothers. So forever and ever and ever, you're bonded.
Yeah.
So, when we were kids, she wrote us pretty hard on that stuff. when we started to get older, she got really nervous. Like I would fist fight my older brother in the kitchen while she was like trying to break it up, and it would tear her apart. But at the same time, like now, I mean, if my mom could see me and my brother now, it'd make her the happiest that ever, because those are your brothers. So that was the first thing, is like family over everything was just ingrained in us. You know, every Friday night we had family night. It was just what it was. And the other, like, I got this from my dad, but also from my mom, was like, just you outwork everyone. You outwork every single person. Like, you're not going to be the smartest. You're not going to be the strongest. You're not going to be the most capable. But if you outwork everyone, none of that shit matters. And I remember being in, you know, when I graduated high school, I joined the union and started pouring concrete. And I remember all the old birds on the job site would be like, "Hey man, slow down. You're going to work us out of a job." And I'm like, "Dude, I got one speed. That's it.
That's the plan, bro.
Go.
I want your job."
Right. Go. My speed is go. Mm-hmm. And if you are worried about that, I'll take your job. I mean, I remember when I got into tech, I got this new job, and this guy was like, "Well, what do you want to do here?" I'm like, "I kind of like your job." And within like 2 years, I had that cat's job. Like, it's just, that is my speed, is to go.
Yeah.
And I didn't get that because I liked working. I got that because of my parents.
Yeah. I actually am on board and have similar stories, and where that is to Jason's point. Lying was the worst, and it was, you know, we can get through anything, but if I can't trust you, things are going to be really, really tough. So don't lie to me. Inside of that, it was more so, hey, when you do something wrong, own it. If you do something wrong and you compound it by lying about it or not taking responsibility for it, it's going to get worse. And the punishment would always fit the crime, if you will. But then if you lied about something and then you got caught about that punishment doubled or tripled. Like, that was just kind of how that went. And so they were very true to their word. When I would do something wrong, which I did fairly frequently, and get caught, then they'd be like, "Hey, what happened? All right, here's the deal. This is what I did," and I owned it, apologized for it. I, had a punishment of whatever. I got grounded, I got TV taken away, whatever it was. But then it was over and done with. There was never a carryover in my house. There was never a residual. Once you did your time or once you made it right, all good. It was never lingering, which I always appreciated because I always felt good. Hey, I did something wrong, got caught. I feel bad about that. I'm not happy. Here comes the punishment, whatever that's going to be.
Yeah.
But I knew that when that was over, it was over. Yeah. And everything, everybody was happy, and I never got, any residual anything in that world. In the family world of, hey, that's your brother. We were in that, hey, these are your siblings. They're going to be your siblings forever, and they're going to have your back, and you're going to have theirs. And so we fought. I had sisters, and so we didn't have fist fights because that was frowned upon.
Unfair.
And it was unfair. But, we fought and bickered and messed with each other and whatever. But it was always, hey, in the end, this is who's going to be there that's going to have your back, so you need to make sure that they know they love you and those types of things. The additional one that I have is my parents ended up basically preaching, we're a team, we're a family unit. So if we're going to do yard work, everybody's out there doing yard work. We're going to clean the kitchen.
That's good.
If we're going to clean the kitchen, the whole family's cleaning the kitchen, except for Mom. Mom cooked. Mom didn't have to clean if she cooked. If we're going to clean the house and do the laundry, and there's 6 of us, which means there's roughly 6 million unmatched socks that all have different colors, and none of them we're matching socks, all of us, right there, and we're going to knock it all out.
Oof.
And
I need to figure out how to instill that in my house.
So it's not fair, and it's not right for one family member to have to do an entire day's worth of work that all 6 of us could get together and knock out in an hour and a half. And so it was annoying at the time. And did I want to do whatever that was? No. Did I want to do it right when my dad wanted it done? No. But eventually it went fast. We got it knocked out. Everybody was happy. That's what's going on. And so I do that with my kids now. I'm like, hey, we're going to clean the kitchen. I don't want to clean the kitchen. Well, neither do I. But it's going to, everybody's going to take a job. We're going to knock this thing out in 10 minutes and everybody's going to be good. And this is a team. This is our team. This is our family team. Everybody's got a part in the team. We don't have freeloaders here. There's no superstars. You're part of the deal. So if we're going to clean something, we're going to clean the house, we're going to clean your room, I'm going to help you clean your room. We're going to knock this thing out, and we're going to do this. And I appreciated that, and I believe in that because it makes the work go faster.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel like somebody's in it
Genius.
with you.
No, it's a great concept. I think that might have been a good answer for mine earlier if I had chimed in and I didn't, is I don't remember ever having chores. Like, I don't think I ever did chores of any kind. And my kids today don't have any chores of any kind. And I don't know if that's just because that's how I grew up, that's how it translated, or it's because I just
Do
think
you have chores now?
my kids or me?
You.
Oh, you're damn right I got chores. But
I guarantee you never did this. I'm betting you did this. So I did my own laundry when I was starting 14 or 15.
I did my first load of laundry when I moved into the college dorm.
I'm aware.
And I was a junior.
And that's tragic. But nonetheless, I did. So I had to do my own laundry, and I was a kid. I was an ADD dude, and I would forget that I had a game, and my uniform is still balled up in the bottom of a hamper, stinks like hell, still dirty from the game I had 2 days ago or 3 days ago, and I had just enough time to get it into the wash and get it washed. And I throw it in the dryer for as long as till I had to immediately leave, and then I pull it out, and it would be wet. So I used to drive. So this was when I was 16. I would drive to my game, and I would hold my uniform out the window while I drove, so that the air would blow dry it, so it was dry by the time I got there. And then I got to the point where if I had multiple items that needed to go in there, I would hang like my shorts or my baseball pants or my football pants or whatever over the back window, and then I would roll the window up so it would close in the window so they would blow dry, and then I would hold the jersey out there. And I probably did that at least a dozen times.
I would wear them dirty.
It made it work. Made it work.
No, there was no such thing as dirty clothes in our house. They were clean, folded, ironed, pressed.
Yep.
Where they belong.
God love Pam Bundren.
You were in the same boat? You didn't do laundry?
I didn't do laundry until 2022.
Unbelievable.
I am my
jealousy
mom
is
spoiled
overwhelmed.
the shit out of me, and my wife still spoils me and does the majority of everything. I try to help, but I didn't when we moved in, when we bought our first house, I didn't know how to do laundry as a grown man. And now, love her to death, my mother-in-law comes over and folds our laundry.
That's gorgeous.
I love it.
Does she know my address?
That's amazing.
I'll send it to
Your
you.
mother folds your laundry.
Does not happen.
I mean, I also fold laundry, and so does my wife, and so do my kids do. But my mother-in-law loves it. She comes over, and she's like, "I just want to help out," and she'll fold her laundry. I'm like, I'm
not going to tell you. No.
Right? I love that you help. It's amazing.
I have
best help
I
ever.
have a friend that lives in Dallas, and they have a stay-at-home mom that lives down the street from them that is friends with their kids, and they are in your boat, so they do laundry. It just stays in the clean baskets. And so at any given time, they might have 5-6 baskets of clothes. The couch has all this over, whatever. They had people over. That family came over, and the stay-at-home mom was talking about doing laundry and all this stuff, and Jill, his wife, was like, I hate it so much. I don't want to do it. They both work full time, and she was like, if I could find somebody to literally just hang and fold my laundry and put it away, I would pay them to do this. And this woman was like,
I'm in.
I'll do that all day long. Like, what are we talking about here? And she was like, well,
Yeah, what's the charge?
she so and the hilarity of it is they had people over, and so to clean the house, they picked up all of the clean laundry that was on the couch and all the hampers that were clean and put it into their master bedroom and had it on the bed. And so she was like, come here, and like opened the door and was like, this much? She was like, she's looking at it, she's like, oh, okay. She's like, I don't know, that might take me an hour maybe. She's like, I don't know, $20.
What?
And
She's in Dallas though.
But
It's not gonna work for me.
But this is the thing. I said the same damn thing. I met this woman. I was like, I'll fly you to St. Louis once a month to come and pay you. And so I was like, I want to find this because I don't have any problem doing laundry, and I have no problem getting it in the wash, into the dryer, or whatever, folding it, hanging it, matching socks. It might sit in my living room for a week. Now I'm a dad, and it doesn't particularly matter. But if I had somebody that I could pay $20 a week to come over and fold, hang, and match socks,
You
I
had,
have a
you, had
question.
you had a spare bedroom in one of your old houses that was literally nothing but your clothes strewn everywhere.
not everywhere. No. And I'm not a messy guy. Everything has a place. So the situation is, I have like, I will do laundry, and I will shake out all the stuff that would normally hang, and I will put it in piles that'll be t-shirts, work shirts, pants, and then in that room that I had, there was a chair, an ottoman, and then like a hutch, and they were on those items, and then there was a basket of clean socks, and then any dirty clothes were in a hamper in that same room, but they were in the hamper. So you would go in and be like, oh, there's clothes everywhere here. I knew exactly where everything was. And
I have
knew
a
where it
question,
was.
and I need an honest answer, and then we got to wrap this up.
All right.
How many times since the Dallas laundry lady, how many times have you tried to figure out how to monetize and create a business out of someone folding laundry?
Dude, if I could I'm dead ass serious. I have been thinking about it, and I have been thinking about it at length because I am on record that the most underutilized workforce in the United States is stay-at-home moms that want to make some money to contribute to the house or just mad money or whatever, but they also want to do all their kids stuff. They want to be able to take the kids to school, pick them up. They want to be able to go run errands. They want to do whatever. They need the freedom. But if I could find a way to create an app
To broker
this situation,
I knew the answer. As one entrepreneur to another, I knew the
think,
answer.
I think this is a side hustle of all side hustles.
Oh my god!
It exists. It exists. There is a laundry and folding service for a fact that exists that will come pick up your stuff, take it, launder it, fold it, bring it back to you in a basket, done, ready for you to put away.
I don't want that. I just want I want to create a situation kind of like the nanny and babysitter service that is brilliant. This has been around for a long time, but there is a babysitting.com or babysitting
Care.com
in each city, and they vet out high school and college girls and guys, and it's almost like a dating site. Like, they have their age and their history and a little bio about them and their picture, and they have a rate that is $15 an hour, $20 an hour, or whatever. And if you need a babysitter for Friday night and you don't have a normal babysitter, your normal babysitter is busy, you can go on this app and you can book somebody. It's Friday at 3 o'clock and you need a babysitter at 5 o'clock. You can book on that, and it is vetted out.
So what kind of profile and vetting are you needing for somebody to fold your laundry?
don't need that. I'm saying it's the exact same
Nimble
world.
fingers.
All that I'm getting at is if you're going to invite someone into your house, you're going to give them the code to your house while you're at work or whatever that's going to be.
I need them to put it away too.
And have them put it away. So now you have people that are going to be going through your drawers.
Color
if
coordinate
you will.
my shit.
But I think that there's a doable situation where you can basically interview that person, or you can talk to them on an app, like
match,
a dating
you
app,
swipe,
and you
look at all my
match,
laundry,
and it could be because then you have the other thing, like if you have somebody that is just a fucking weirdo, and now you've got Donna, who thinks she's going to make an extra $500 a week by going and just folding some laundry because she likes doing it and whatever, and she goes over to Wild Bill's house, and the place is a complete fucking train wreck, and he's got 6 boa constrictors, and he's got 4 dildos in his top drawer. What you're looking at there is you're like, fuck, I don't want to do this. This is terrible. I'm out.
You something about wrapping it up?
I was gonna try.
Said,
I'm not sure if I can. Let me give it a shot.
All right, give it a shot.
If this episode was entertaining, and you want more of this, subscribe.
Or something similar.
Or something similar adjacent to this. Subscribe to the channel. Comment, maybe not on this episode, but other episodes. Let us know what you think. Obviously, we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Please go there, listen to it. Give us 5-star rating. Jay.
Send your questions, grownassdads@gmail.com.
Yep. More swag to come.
Yeah, we're never going to ask anybody for anything more than that. Hit the subscribe button and
tell us what you think.
Tell us what you think. So there's no pay to play here. Come enjoy it.
That's it.
Ask us some questions. Tell us whether you think we're fun or helpful or morons
just
or whatever,
pure idiots.
and just interact a little bit and have some fun.
I'm okay with that.
That's all I will ever ask. So. This has been a blast. I love the topic. Bones, always
appreciate
enjoyable.
you.
Grown ass dads out.